everyone. And how's it going, Jeff? How are you?
Going well, thank you. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's funny because you're in Hawaii, right? Are you in Hawaii?
I am.
You are. So you're in Hawaii. I had a
Yes.
beautiful morning. I can see the sun hitting you there, right from Hawaii. And if I look out the window, I got to stand up a little bit through those trees, but I can see the Las Vegas Strip, and the weather here is beautiful. These are the good months. So,
As I turn my head, that's the view that I look at when I go out that way.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for taking some time out. And I know seeing everything that you're building, everything that's in the works. We've known each other a long time. I found a funny picture to kind of set that stage there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You're surprising me.
It's not exactly what you would think, but close. So this is me back in the Demand Force days. Now, I'm 40 pounds lighter there in that picture, which is surprising. But this was at the ATE trade show. So you and I were always right there.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking 12 years ago, long time ago.
I was working as an independent contractor for Customer Link, and I remember we were in lots of different conversations about possibilities back then.
We were. And I remember taking a look at your kind of your technology then, and it was just ahead of everything. You really were taking a look at how can I help everybody in the right way. So, now as I look, one of the things we're going to go over, so if you guys have a piece of paper to write these down, we can send you an email. Jeff can get in contact with you, or we can send you a recording. So we're going to go over the top 8. We got a couple others to throw in there. Benefits of a customer reward program. And really, when we look at what Pit Crew is doing for everybody, and how that benefits the shop, there's a lot. Myself, I was looking. I got a Freddy's car wash there. After I get a certain amount, I get some free. I was taking a look at some of the other benefits that I have, and Matthew, we can drop that slide now. Thank you. And so then when I kind of think of that, let's just jump into the first one. So the first one is, we look at it, improve customer engagement.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I'll step back just real quick and talk about why rewards work in the automotive industry at all. Mm-hmm. And, you can look at our failures to see how hard it was to figure it out. We started in 2004 building this thing, and I was grateful to have some really cool partners in the Northwest that were willing to invest with me, Mm-hmm. And so we launched this thing with Bernie's Automotive, and simply using a third party to track dollars, and then reward with points. So with Bernie's, we were giving 5% back on that card, right? And it didn't change a darn thing. Nothing changed at all. And with right down the street, we were working with Leo's Auto Clinic, and Leo, I don't know if you remember Leo or not.
Kind of sounds familiar.
Old timer, and great shop. And we did earn points and then win gifts. And he built a whole shelving system behind the counter, with like movie tickets and dinner things. And, he just had a whole system, and it was,
That's
obviously
cool.
way too complicated, right? You're not really going to stick with it. And so I guess the long and the short of it is, we're not Starbucks in the automotive industry. Mm-hmm. Customers aren't coming in every day. They're not excited necessarily to come in and see you. And so the rewards dollar piece of it is very important, but it's not enough to move the needle. Mm-hmm. So in order to get customer engagement and have them care about the rewards program, it needs to be about far more than just the rewards dollars. And so it's about a suite of benefits. And most importantly, like when we did our research, again, over time, especially after our failures, how do you build a good rewards program? The first thing is not all customers are created equal. So And the second thing is you're trying to give away as little as possible to get the best possible result, because anybody can give away a ton and have customers love it, but you're going to go broke doing it. So for customer engagement, it's about that suite of benefits that we were talking about, and about dazzling that customer at the counter. So when you tell them, hey, you've earned $14.82 today. Thanks a lot for coming in. You can use it on your next visit. That makes a little impact. But when you then tell them, you're getting complimentary roadside assistance throughout the US and Canada. We're tracking your oil changes, and after your fifth one, your sixth one's free, or whatever you want to give. A lot of people give the fifth one free after 4, and it's all automated. And when you let them know in particular about the community outreach and charitable giving piece, that's where the magic really happens, because people are conditioned to want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And so it hits them right where they live, and they start thinking of the shop as less of a transactional relationship and more as a relational community service, where they can partner with someone and do good deeds. And that's where we've really seen the needle being moved, and in a huge way. Like you launch a rewards program, and you do a fundraiser immediately, and I've seen dozens of new customers in 1 month. And if I don't know if Mark Simon may or may not be on the call, he has COVID, unfortunately, from Rolf. But we have an example from him that we just did that, that the shop was so busy that we actually got a busy signal when I called him. And when was the last time you got a busy signal?
Wow, that is, the phone's getting loaded up. That's awesome. That really, like, I'm gonna have to jot down my side questions. I want to keep us on point here with our.
But one more comment on that, on engagement, if you don't mind.
No, please.
You have to, it was about that, not all customers being equal. You have to slide consumers up and down a continuum of benefits. And they have to, so it's like anything. It's like, with a kid, when you're raising a kid, they need to know what's expected of them before you can hold them accountable. Right. So if they know what's expected of them, and they know how to get the best benefit, and how, and what happens if you don't do certain things. And it's all about what's good for the vehicle is good for is good for the consumer, is good for the shop. And that's how we run our rewards program.
I like it. I've had some insight, but that really, I think in all of our conversations, you explaining it this way, it's like the light bulb just clicked, and I'm like, wow, that really, thank you for giving the insight into all the research. That is why your program is successful. Each one of these, I have a feeling you're going to really, let's talk about number 2. How about impact to the brand loyalty? That, and I can already see there's some of these are going to kind of cross over. So if we cross over, Jeff, just bump me to the next one.
No, this is, as I was, because when I built this, I did a lot of research, right? And then I had one of my clients give me a 6-page paper on the art of building a rewards program from a PhD. And I looked at, and he goes, you're the only one out of in any industry that's actually checked off every box. And I was like, and that happened sort of by, I'm a child of 2 scientists. So I test things, and I want to have a control, and I want to see what moves the needle without changing other things. Right. So you can also describe it as accomplishing very little over an extremely long period of time, because if that's how science works sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And Dr. Hale might be nodding his head at the moment, because you have to have a control. You can't just make claims if you've changed 6 variables. So impacting brand loyalty, that story goes back all the way to the beginning, when I was working with CustomerLink, because before I even came up with the rewards program, and this is, when you were with Demand Force, I noticed, because in the early days, we're doing these postcards, and these postcards were all stock postcards, and they just had a universal font for the automotive shop in the corner somewhere. And then I'm like, maybe this is a good excuse for me to buy that awesome camera that I want to use. And so I cruise out to my local shops, because I was doing it all in the Northwest. And I'm arranging these photo shoots. And I think I even started charging for them at some point, had to put some food on the plate as I'm coming up with these ideas. And I noticed when we put pictures of the shops on the postcards, and pictures of the people, and pictures of their dogs, and that got a better response. And so we started building logos and doing brand development and websites, which is how I overlap, your Kukui days. And so that all speaks to, what you're just talking about. How do we impact brand loyalty? And, there's many ways, but one is you have to have a message that you're trying to convey, a feel that you're trying to get out there. So if you have when you partner with other businesses and organizations that share your values and your core beliefs, and I'm not talking about politics and stuff that can, turn people off, just community oriented, non-transactional type activities that any business can engage in, and then promote those activities in some manner that is not solicitous, like you're not doing it just for money, then people are going to respond. And so it's our 1 + 1 = 10 scenario. When you partner, if you donate money to like the Little League, and you put a plaque up in your front office, your waiting room, people see it and they think it's nice. But when you partner with your customers to do something like that, maybe to help a family, to give to the food bank, or like what we just did with Rolf's to thank frontline workers, now that 1 + 1, that teaming up with your customers equals 10, because people want to feel a part of a solution. And so that's how we've really extended and impacted brand loyalty, is making it very relational.
Okay. Some data. Curious if you have a little data, or at least I'm going to jump to 4. I'll go back to 3. Increase customer retention.
Yeah.
I have an idea what that comes out to data wise, because when I think of it, I have a $17 credit at Best Buy. I think we talked about this the other day. I don't know why that bugs me, but that $17 is still sitting there. And I asked my wife, I was like, anything we need, like a big screen? She's like, no, that's not what we need. But I thought I would try. But still, the $17 is still sitting there. But in my mind, I know that $17 is there at Best Buy, and it's one of these little credit things that I got, same as cash kind of thing. And how about as far as what you see as far as retention goes, and how does that work with your system?
Well, I'll give you some numbers. Just in general, because there's a lot to unpack in what you just talked about. The first thing to understand, people want to buy things at Best Buy.
Okay.
Unless you are and consumers very often love their repair facility and have confidence in them, but they're not sitting there strategizing ways to be able to convince their wife to put new brakes on the car. The way they're strategizing how to get a new big screen,
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying there. Yeah.
They're not remembering that $17 the same way. So again, it has to be about these other things. But from a pure data standpoint, what are we seeing? Last time we analyzed this, we did it with the Bottom Line Impact groups a couple of years ago. John Waffler, myself, and Brian Bates from Eagle.
Nice.
And our CFO, Nora, who's a mathematician and a statistician. So between myself, Brian, and John, we contributed very little to the analysis, and Nora did most of it. But but John helped. John and Brian really figured out what we wanted to measure, And what we were initially, we started out trying to measure. There was so much carpet bomb mail going on, and we all know the companies that are doing it. There's nothing wrong with it, but they're looking at this carpet bomb and they're going, well, it's going out to my entire zip code, all the zip codes, and it's bringing in my current customers and new customers. But are they sticking? I spent this much on it. Are they coming back? And so when we looked at Brian's and we look at all of our clients, it's kind of shocking. So Brian Bates, he won best shop in North America or in America from Napa, I think in 17.
Mhm.
Anyway, at that time, best shop in America award winner had a 54% one and done rate. So 54% of the people that were coming to his shop
Yeah.
weren't coming back. And so we benchmark that with because we pull data, so we can all benchmark that. It's really about what do you consider a one and done. At any rate, if we look a year or two, we have to really, it almost takes 2 years to let it all play out.
Mhm.
But our average shop, when they come on board, is at 50 to 55% one and done rate. I've seen
Okay.
over 65%, which is crazy. But after 2 years on the program, that same customer is averaging 20% one and done.
Nice. Okay.
So
You said something's a good point to just really acknowledge too, and making sure everybody who's on this and is looking at a reward program or the benefits of one. I see this a lot in the industry. Some things do take a little bit of time. There's the brand recognition of your rewards program. It is continually within the shop. Something you can't just do for 6 months and go, I'm not seeing the results I want or something. It's something that is there as I think that's important. So
can we talk about that real quick? Because
yeah.
this is it's incredibly important. Automotive, and I say this, pretty much all the time when I'm doing a presentation or talking to clients. An automotive repair shop, when it comes to like the laws of retailing, you're no different than Nordstrom or Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
Your consumers are going to believe something's important if you tell them it's important. And what we're faced with in our industry, obviously, if you were to write down everything that an advisor is supposed to do to be an A+ advisor, if you wrote it on a scroll, it would roll out the front door and right down the street.
Yeah.
So asking them to do more things, you get pushback on that. And I get that. I totally understand it, and so we've made the program automated from activation to add value to redeem value. It can all be automated. But what can't ever be replaced is talking about the program and telling the customers telling them about it, right? Most of our clients are still giving out physical rewards cards. We do it completely digitally as well.
Okay.
But that magic of telling a customer, here's all the great stuff that we're giving you. We really care about you. And here's how you get to keep all these benefits, right? And having a poster up, running some of your marketing through it. If all you do by launching a rewards program is increase your discount by 3% or 2% or 5%, at the end of the year, what good is it? You're doing it to move people away from traditional forms of advertising to a more personalized, comprehensible, and actionable form of engagement that the consumer responds to. So your discount should go down when you launch a good rewards program. I mean, Fortune 50, 100 companies aren't stupid. They do it for a reason, and they do it because it makes them a ton of money. And I know I had a few more points there, but you can't.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
Yeah, that's a. We're talking retention. That was because that will jump right into number 5, which is kind of the numbers of what the sales. What it increases sales then. So if you're having people, we're watching the one and done, and I best example I can think of was I was in a shop in San Antonio and looking at this gentleman's data, and his brother was running the front counter, and he was up there around 65%. He goes, Todd, I can't figure out, like, we're dying. They come in once, most of our customers, you look and then they never come back. I'm not kidding. At the exact same moment, this guy's brother blows up on the phone and he's dropping big swear words. We'll skip the front initials of those ones. And it was like this weird moment with the owner like just sitting there thinking, I need to leave and move on to my next shop. Because if you can't figure that out, your brother's got to go, man. I'm sorry. That right there is why you're at 65%
Yeah.
of people coming in once. So when we kind of factor that in, as you're talking about how we're moving those forward, I mean, that's a huge increase in the yearly sales. So
yeah, I mean, it's
gonna have a
dramatic.
better year.
You look at the way we increase sales. What each one of these is enough to launch a rewards program, right? I mean, decreasing the one and dones that dramatically, bringing in anywhere from 5 to 10 new customers through referral. And that just depends. Again, you know, I think we're kind of conditioned in the automotive industry. We all talk to a lot of shop owners and they'll say, I'm not getting referrals. And I'm like, do you talk about your referral program?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I didn't invent referral programs. What I did, I didn't invent any of this stuff. You know, what we did was we put it all together and tied a bow around it. Because I have plenty of shops that, you know, have run a referral program and they were writing handwritten thank you notes and stuff. But, you know, no one sticks with that forever.
Yeah.
So it's about that consistency of being able to implement all these pieces. And what did you ask me again? Because I lost my train of thought.
Well, I was talking about sales, but I think we've covered that. I like something Cynthia just posted in the chat there, and it goes. Cynthia's looking at my sheet there because this goes down to extra question number 9. But since she's thrown this in, I think I'd like to kind of address her point there. You know, you can't just run the same promotion or the same. Like you said, 5%. Here you go. It's 5%. Like that's just it. That's and so how you keep it fresh? Okay, that's a great question. And I like what she has here. They have a poster, a savings poster in the lobby that shows you what's coming up. You know, monthly.
Does anyone else see that? I don't see it. Are we supposed to?
It would be down in the chat. So maybe it's it did go out to everybody. So.
I wanted to, that's what I kind of meant to also talk about. So we have our clients that engage this program actively. They win, you know, they just win hands down. I remember, you know, Chris Garman at Wilhelm put this in and within 6 months, he said, Jeff, this hands down, never seen anything like this. The best program we've ever launched in our entire history. And they've been in business since 1928, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what most shops are doing, a lot of shops, you know, you'd like to have more business on a Monday, like ready to go on a Monday, right? And so a lot of people do double rewards Mondays, right? And educate people about that. Or I think Cynthia, I'm not always up to date what Cynthia does because she's so good at it. She changes it all the time. And, you know, Cynthia is one of these incredible clients that took, I mean, a year and a half of Cynthia and I going back and forth and making changes to the program and making it fit their needs. And I'm proud of that, you know, that we were able to put something together that they love. So yeah, you have to engage it and move people off of traditional advertising. So when we do like when you do a direct mail piece to your customer base, run it through the rewards program, talk about the rewards, not just a straight dollar type of a situation. Okay.
Everybody is watching. I walked through every question with Jeff, made sure, but then I also put one down here, like throw Jeff a curveball. We got to get him one curveball. So he could be really mad at me. We'll see. Maybe he's just about to log off. Who knows? But how about seasonality of rewards? How do you tackle that? And I think it comes, what triggered that is just kind of the thought of what you were just saying about what she was doing. You know, what you do in January may be different July, December, like success wise, and 5% might rock in January, but
it is endless what you can do. So, you know, right now we have February. Auto Select up in Wisconsin is doing double rewards for February. We have clients that do like the season of giving, you know, so you'll do that during Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you'll give people double rewards if they make a donation to the charity of that season. We have shops that partner. This is a huge way to get new business, and it really feels good. You partner with a specific company, not even a charity, So you
Okay.
go out to one of your larger employers in the area, and you invite their consumers to come in, or excuse me, their employees, give them all a rewards card with money preloaded on it, and come in and then donate a percentage of that to a charity, and then partner
Gotcha.
to raise money for that charity during that season. So, and I just want to touch on this is important because this season of giving thing, I know like Subaru runs this like Subaru Cares event, and you buy a car and they donate like $250 and they show a picture of a dog hanging out the Subaru window. And I went in and my Tahoe broke down after 17 years. And I was on a cross country trip, and and my CFO said, you're not fixing that thing anymore. You're getting a new car. So I bought this Subaru, right? Because it had 63 months financing, no interest. Anyway, I get this thing, and I'm looking around, and there's like mobiles spinning around about season of giving, and we donate this to charity, blah blah blah. It's everywhere. Not once did they talk about it.
Oh, awesome!
I finished the entire sales process. It took the entire day, all the way down through the finance department and the undercoding, and no one mentioned that I can donate that money. So you've got to actually care about it.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize, and it's one of the reasons why we've partnered, and it's one of the reasons that we look at how how our technology can integrate, and what that benefit is. You said it earlier, and even even with Facepay, is that there's been a repair that's needed. So you're going to have to make a repair, and you're going to have to spend money. Now that's different than me trying to finagle a way to get a new TV, down in the living room. But that side can be kind of painful. And so if you put kind of a negative there, you go, well, okay, people don't necessarily, if they can make the payment process easier, then we get a plus. But no matter what, the fact that anybody's paying, and for the service writers, they're trying to make the experience the absolute best they can. And knowing there's that negative, hey, this is going to be, $1,500 to get your car up and running. And even though every aspect may be great, that $1,500 still can be taxing, on the person. And so what I looked at is I said, rewards wise, coupled with Facepay, like you're the it's more of a force multiplier of goodness in a way.
It is, no doubt.
So that's really critical. And so that kind of leads into number 4, which I wanted to, number 3, which I want to jump back into, is the customer experience. This is great. Shop's going to really benefit. Sales you've covered. Looking at each of how this rolls out. Tell me a little bit about the customer experience. What is the customer going to, how is that going to work for them?
Yeah.
I always get that. This is great. Understand it, Todd. Tell me the customer experience.
So
Okay.
it's pretty simple. I mean, from the moment that you launch the program, you tell the consumer at the counter that, hey, we've automatically enrolled you in our rewards program, and you'll be receiving this much money on your rewards card. You can use it at a later date, and you tell them all the great benefits. Right at that moment, you see a shift in the relationship. Just, it's that quick, and it's the last thing that they think about rather than the bill, right?
Okay.
And then they're communicated with very judiciously. They get enrolled in the program. They get a rewards card and a welcome message via text and email. And it's just limited to communications about the rewards program.
Okay.
And they're told how they can use that rewards. Then they're given an opportunity to donate those rewards simply by clicking.
Mr. Greg Buckley is he's reading off our script too. He must have a camera in my office, because he was just asking, can the rewards be gifted to a nonprofit? What are, again, with the customer experience, what can they do?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like, they can actually log in with their phone number, and they can send their rewards dollars to their children or their grandchildren, or they can click to automatically spool up a gift card with their dollars to send to a friend, bring in a new customer that way. And they can donate it to a charity from a list that the shop has created. or if the shop is running a campaign, they can donate to just a specific one, depending on what the shop wants.
Okay.
And so those are all things that they're exposed to immediately when we launch the program.
Okay.
And then throughout that engagement, they're told if their, for instance, roadside assistance is expiring because they haven't come in a time period that is prescribed by the shop.
Okay.
And also they're told when their rewards dollars are expiring. Those rewards dollars are allowed to be expired, which is a lot different than if the consumer buys a gift card.
Okay.
You're not allowed to expire that, but the rewards are allowed to be expired, and customers respond to that. So again, it's moving customers through that continuum. They always know, hey, I get to keep these benefits if I behave this way, and this is what's changing.
Okay.
And they can also, let's say they're sitting at a dinner party, and people talk about automotive repair. I mean, being in the industry, my ears always perk up when I hear people talking about it.
Yeah.
And hear people saying negative things. I'm like, man, I think I've met one bad person, and I've been doing this since 1993.
Yeah.
But when that conversation comes up, they can just pick up their phone and activate a gift card for their friend and send it over to them right as they're sitting there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And something else I didn't touch on, that's like part of our new technology, but something else that's really cool for the advisors, which I think the shops are going to love this. When everyone has price shoppers, I don't know what the percentage is, but I've always told clients, before you hang up the phone, just tell them about your rewards program. And we've tested it, and it increases the close rate dramatically when you just talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also now able to click a button and just send that person that you're on the phone with a gift card. You don't even have to tell them about it. You can just be talking to them about setting an appointment, and then they get a oh, you just sent me a gift card.
That is easy. Easy is what I like. Definitely, if I'm a service writer, I can just hit a button. I'm having the right conversation, and I know this could really add to this customer's lifetime. Which number 6? What are you seeing as far as the increase in the lifetime of the customer?
Well, I don't think we've gotten as granular on that, as far as how long a customer lasts, because they are buying new vehicles. But what we've seen, and I think you have the latest data was like 17% of every zip code turns over, right?
Okay.
So if you have people moving at a predictable rate and people changing their driving habits, retiring, or passing away, you're playing in a range of somewhere around, you need about 30% new customers to really kind of tread water. So you're trying to get that extra, percent to bring in new customers to grow. So what we do see, because we have evidence of this, is when people sell their car to a friend or a family member, they are giving that rewards card with it.
Okay.
And we're giving them an incentive to do that, so that car has a greater likelihood of coming back. And we've noticed that, like, we kind of launched this in 2009 with a lot of the functionality. And we noticed right away that we were getting phone calls from the shops that, hey, someone came in, they just bought this car from a friend, and they gave them that card with money on it. So you're capturing the vehicle post-sale. But where we're really seeing something we didn't predict was the increase in household spend. When you have a program like this, you think you're getting all the vehicles, from a particular household, but so husband, wife, someone's going home to the household and saying, hey, I was just over, at Joe's garage, and look what they gave me. Look at this cool program that we just got enrolled in. I know you like to take your car over here because it's closer to work. Let's switch cars, bring yours here. We'll get the referral discount. Plus we'll get all these great benefits. And so we saw this immediate, lift in increased household spend.
That is all. So my question, from my understanding, is it tagged to the individual person or the vehicle? Because I have never heard that before. That is, right there, that's huge, because if they went and bought a new car, and this person returned with the card, hey, by the way, I've got enough 2 oil changes on here, however, and so if somebody gave that to me, again, me with my petty $17 over at Best Buy, I would want to use that, like take my car down the street, to the shop they went to, and I have this. And so now this other consumer or customer who's bought this new car, maybe they've got a little couple years at the dealership or something, but again, they're going to eventually return, okay, if with that car. So like the whole thing. But I'm sorry, back to, is it tied to customer or the car? Or?
Well, the account is tied to a phone number.
Okay.
And then vehicles nest under that phone number.
Okay.
And you can nest whatever you want under there, and so you can have the whole family could have one card if you want. And some of that's up to the shop and some of that's up to the consumer,
So I come in, I bought a car, got the card, there's a lot on it. I'm just curious of the particulars. How do I get my car out from underneath the nest per se and into my own account?
Yeah, you reassign it. So there's yeah, you just reassign it to a new work order. So, okay. Again, this we found happening a lot. Kids start driving and the parents, they're probably still paying for it, but they want the kids to manage the vehicle, learn how to do that. So they would go in with the rewards card, but it has the parents' information in it. Now the kid's in the system. So you just click reassign and type in the RO number, and it reassigns it to the kid's demographics and his email and his cell phone.
Nice. I like it. This one's a big one. So let's trying to look. I want to make sure we get to have a little bit of time for questions there for the parts I didn't cover. Customer acquisition is always big. Remember we kind of talked about question 7 and 8, reduce attrition. But then question 8 was customer kind of acquisition. So in a way, kind of merging those two questions.
Yeah.
Is in what ways is this being used for customer acquisition?
Okay, it's super simple, and the answer is, without being too salesy, as many customers as you want, and when I talk to shops, I always say, you got to spend less time behind the desk and a little more time with your community, and someone has to or should, if you, it's not just about advertising and billboards. I would say done correctly, you don't even have to advertise traditionally if you really deploy a good rewards program. So let's talk about the elements that directly can be attributed to new customers through the rewards program. So the referral program, obvious and trackable. And we do a great job there bringing in new customers. It's 5 to 10, it depends on the shop and how big they are and how actively they're promoting it. But it averages between 5 and 10 new customers a month that way.
Okay.
If that's the referral program. Community outreach and charitable giving. Like I said, I was talking about Rolf's Import Auto Service. So we did a fundraiser. All we did is create an internal charity, if you will, a bucket for the Rolf's Pandemic Relief Fund.
Okay.
Right? That when we create a charity, it creates a rewards card, a stored value account, right? Okay. And then you can set it up where the shop can match anything that's donated to it or what they want or what limits are put on customers donating.
Yeah.
We send out a text message and an email blast. Here's what we're doing. We're thanking first responders. Come in. If you're a first responder, come in and we will use these donations to give you up to X% off to get your vehicle repaired. So we sent that out. That ended up on the news in Tacoma.
Ooh.
He had 40 new customers in 1 month. 40. 3 people bought him. Customers bought lunch for the shop. He had gifts dropped off. I don't know if Mark's on the call or not. Like I said, he has
he's not. He's not. But Cynthia's here. So
yeah, and Cynthia hasn't done a fundraiser yet.
Yeah. Oh, Cynthia's fundraiser time coming.
Yeah. So that's and then the other way that very few are doing, but the ones that have are loving it. Again, it's about partnering with a local employer. So We did it in Seattle with Getty Images and
Mhm.
dropped off information for human resources. All you do is you go to human resources, you tell them about your rewards program, you do a little research ahead of time and say, I see that you support the Boys and Girls Club of Seattle. If any of your employees come in, here's a $50 gift card to try us out. We'll automatically give them 2% or 3% rewards, plus 1% goes in your name to the Boys and Girls Club. There you go. That's it,
Wow.
and it's measurable. And you just when you activate the card, you choose their award level, and away you go. And we do that. A lot of that's up to the shops have to get involved with that, though.
Yeah.
There's not enough time in the day. I've tried, to manage all that minutia. But if you go out and partner with some of your, not just with the employers, but other businesses can also use this rewards program. You can all use, in fact, it can be a customer has one account that could be good at unlimited businesses. And we know where the money was spent so that they're earning it correctly and where they get to spend it. And a percentage can go into the community chest. This is how you create an ecosystem of small businesses trying to do good things in a community, lifting everybody up.
Yeah. It's funny. I could get, I think you and Greg Buckley could get together. You guys could talk for hours. I don't want to say nobody I've seen do it better. He doesn't have your technology. So you two definitely need to talk and look at working together. But
we spoke yesterday. It was an instant connection.
Instant, because Greg, I've learned so much. You said a key phrase, and it's kind of one of the ones I want Dr. Hale to highlight when we put this recorded webinar out there. You said you need to get out from behind the counter and into your community. You didn't say a lot. Some people are like, I'm slam busy. It's like, get out there a little bit. But Greg Buckley would tell me things wherever he goes, he's taking a look, kind of looking. And I want to say it was like a hospital. I know I'm messing it up, Greg, but he looked and he said, hey, do you guys have a VIP program here for your customers as far as getting their vehicles picked up, dropped off, and worked on? And he would look at kind of each of those and build something out. But he was also doing a lot of that type of thing manual too. And so that right there is huge. And I remember, I think Dave Koussis, he's still on Dural's, Roy Dural there. When I first went and met him, actually, no, that was like 4 years later. I went down, I visited the shop again, but he was like, let me take you on a drive. He drove up the street and they were building a huge Kaiser right there. And he goes, I'm trying to get a second shop. Like, this is all about me getting into this. He goes, if I did nothing else, if I could just get a VIP program into the hospital with the amount of people are there, he's like, we'd be slammed all year long. We wouldn't be able to keep up with it. So, and I think those opportunities are out there. And when I talk to shops, it's funny that I went right to Greg, but I can't name 20 other shops that are doing that. Right. So that opportunity is there. And then I want to say Cynthia just said sports teams. I mean, that's gold. That is because not only if you're helping the sports teams, if I see Pit Crew Marketing is sponsoring, my son's soccer team, you're doing something for my son. You can't. You're in my good graces.
Let's talk about that real quick. And I know I don't know if we're running up against time, but if you had, again, one of the best promotions we've ever done was with a school district in Washington State, kindergarten through 12th, and we put up a post on Facebook. The shop did that. You can donate a portion, 50% of your rewards to the school. Mm-hmm. That's all they did and they had a dozen appointments in one day booked just by putting that up. But so these ideas aren't new, right? People donate money all the time. Corporate social responsibility has been around a long time. And, all these people on the call, I'm sure, are thinking about, boy, I've done this. I've thought of that. I've done this, but you need a container to manage it. And so this is the container to manage it and let your ideas run free, right? You know, so often when we bring on a client, they're like, do I have to give rewards to people that replace an engine? You don't have to do anything, right? You know, you just, you eliminate certain categories and we allow you to manage all that way.
Yeah.
And if you need new business, well, then yes, you go out and you pursue an employer to do a deal for their employees. Or schools, that's building multi-generational business, right?
Yeah.
And I have shops that, you know, of course we all do, that have been in the same neighborhoods for years and they're embedded in those schools. This is a great way to further that relationship.
You know, I was just thinking too of, you know, just kind of a tip to put out there is when we think of everybody in the shop and kind of that great point of getting out from behind the counter. I have met some shop owners that I think this is really noble of them to just say, hey, like, I'm not the best salesperson, or I'm not a vice president of business development, you know, and how do I go down and get the fleet account for the school or something? Like, I don't even know how necessarily to maybe do that. Okay. And maybe it's just an uncomfortableness, you know, some people can take the mic on stage and some people can't. And that's completely all right. I think there's more power in knowing your strengths than, you know, not knowing your strengths. So one of the things they did at my shop, you know, I was a technician for 15 years. I was ASC certified and my L1 certification. I had a smog license in California. But I was, you know, I wasn't the best at, say, big engine jobs. I really did, you know, a lot of the maintenance, a lot of different things. I was Toyota, Lexus, but there was we had 9 racks, okay? The rack that was the closest to the service writers was where they put me. And the reason is that my tools were always clean and organized. My shirt was always tucked in. I always like to keep my hair cut. So you can see, like, I was just very, very professional, you know, mom would slap me upside the head if I was swearing. So didn't swear, those kind of things. It was very presentable. And they would call me over to maybe on a difficult customer or where there needed to be a presentation with the vehicle to explain why we need brakes or something like that. So point I'm going with it is to get out there and to also get, you know, some of these, how you can get some of these types of other accounts is maybe there's somebody in the shop that falls into that. And so you may have somebody that you feel really covers all of your quarterly shop fun function things and picks a great, and that person has can't load the techs up. We want them to just, you know, be highly productive, but I'm talking like after hours kind of thing. But you also might have somebody on staff that could go out and do that and really also pour that jet fuel into, you know, this pit crew program.
It's a great point. And I wanted to, it's a terrific point, because you should have not just consider it yourself that has to go out and do it. But when we build out the digital assets for the shops, when we launch, you know, and the emails and the text messages about the rewards program, we also develop a community outreach kit. It's very simple. It's a small folder that fits a piece of paper that's half of 8.5 by 11. We give you a Word document that's fillable with your logo on it. And we give you a suggested letter to take to a company. Just fill in the company name. And this is how much money we've loaded on the card for your employees.
Wow.
Here's how much we're giving 1% to fill in the blank charity on your behalf, because we see you support them. And all you have to do is walk in with that, show it to them. And some shops will give one of those kits for every employee. Some shops will just give one to human resources and say the rest are delivered digitally, because you know, paper costs a lot of money. Yeah,
we're coming up to the end of our hour. We've got about 8 minutes left, so I want to kind of close out and you know, go to kind of some final questions there. I always loved Greg. One day I was like in my demand force system there, and he logs in and shows me I was writing code, writing code to do things inside the system. So he's asking here, if I may ask, can I send a rewards card via short code, like
Yeah.
oil change or something? Really?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
It's just very rare that we get a shop that wants to buy a short code. But yes, Greg, absolutely. And we're happy to.
I'm sitting here going, the short code is, but it's all good.
You know, you get text messages from big retailers, and if you look at the number it comes from, it's like I think it's 6 digits.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I wanted to leave this up here for just as we kind of close out. It has both of our emails on there. Please reach out. And like I said, we can, send you an email on the top 8 or the recording of this. And, I think it's really important that we're in just such a weird time, but a great time. Every time I talk to shops, they're slammed. They're so busy. And it's a terrible time to sit back. This is the wrong time to sit back. When you are the most busy, this is the time to get the rewards program and to work the absolute hardest, because you have the most amount of consumers coming in. The spends are the highest. I keep hearing shops saying I have the best years I've ever had. And so if we really, really focus on, technology and as an example, getting a rewards program, and now it's really gonna help as we go into the future. And if there is a slowing, if there slows down or something over the next couple of years, it's gonna keep you busy. So I always kind of say, the last thing you want to do is when you're slow, trying to run around and do everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Now is the time.
You're like keying in on everything, Todd. We didn't even talk about these things, but it's totally true. I don't understand that mentality, right? I mean, we will be slow again. And a rewards program takes time to build, not meaning for us to launch it, but time for for all the nuance to play out and to be able to leverage it properly. So every consumer that comes through the door that doesn't have the program is one that you can't harvest in 6 months or a year when you're slow. So it's a good idea. Did you want to talk about any of the benefits that we're building in here with Facepay? Or?
I think on our meeting, we kind of talked about the things that we're building in, and then we exploded with all the other things that we could also. So if we want to talk about some of the core things, maybe just a kind of little snippet.
Yeah,
I think I kind of alluded to the force multiplier. That's a big deal. So
what I was talking about, basically I just want to say about Facepay, I've launched some clients on Facepay. I know this. If you ask every customer if they want to pay this way and tell them why, you're going to get somewhere around 15 to 20% will do it, and what we have built in through this integration in our API for clients that are using Facepay and Pit Crew, they will get the invitation to join and pay via Facepay. If they do it that way, it will activate a gift card that they get texted. They're told about it. You sign up with Facepay, you're going to get this gift card, which will then automatically convert to the rewards program. And then some advanced level stuff, if you want to do it, we'll be able to take a percentage of your savings, should you allow it as the shop owner, and add that to the charity bucket. And these are just ways to get people to understand that when we save, we can do more good.
That's awesome. That we can't end on a higher note than that. And a quote that was awesome. That really was. It really, great stuff. Jeff, great talking with you. I look forward to get to see you a couple times coming out through this year, a couple weeks here.
That's right.
Yeah, so looking forward to it.
Me too.
Let's continue to just keep building. And, like you said in the beginning, and that's why we were cut from the same cloth, is we're just looking at how do we help the shop and how do we help the industry. It's full of just amazing people that are just great people. And it's why it's, I tried to leave the automotive industry for a couple years, and like 3 years, and I had to come right back because I was like, these people are mean out there.
You know,
Like,
it's a topic for another day, but people can see the co-op here, and there's a whole story about why the cooperative came into existence, and my belief system in general, which I know you share, and I know Dr. Hale shares. So, and actually most people in our industry share this. So it is about what's doing best for the shop owner and the community. And anyone ever want to talk about that, I'm happy to talk about it.
It's a great topic, and I definitely have enjoyed our conversations on that. Everybody, take care. Thank you. I hope you learned a little bit, and I just really hope that as you look at this year, if you don't have a rewards program, it's time to get one in place. It is. Do it. I know if you're slammed busy, you're like, another thing, Todd, or hey, we're in a great time. There's so much great technology out there, and pit crew marketing is amazing. So it's a great time to get that in place. And what Jeff really alluded to, which is the game changer, is that it takes a little bit of time. And so I'm seeing kind of in the future, as this is really, really firing off, it's right. I feel right when it's going to slow a little bit, and it's going to be one of those, thank God that I did get this in place. And the other shops that don't, they're going to run around and try to fix slow. And yeah, you got to plant the seeds a while.
There's a question here that I just want to answer real quick.
Yes, please.
Jess L's here asked that he knows a shop that wants immediate results. He has a super high one and done volume. How can we move the needle immediately? It's what I talked about a second ago. You've got to get the program into the customer's hands. And so when we launch our rewards program, we text, it's all up to you, the shop, but we will text and email the account activation with all the benefits right away to anyone that's been in the shop for however long you want us to go back. And then everyone that comes through the door gets that suite of benefits. So the one and dones are impacted immediately is the answer. That you need to start yesterday as far as impacting one and dones, and we can
That's awesome.
help you with that.
That is great. Excellent.
Thank you
guys. Everybody be safe, and I hope the sun is shining on you. I'll see you all soon, and reach out if you guys need some help. Okay.
Thanks everybody. Thank you very much, Todd.